You might not have some faux apples in your stash, but if you do, trust me, you are going to want to make these. I got these apples from a thrift store. I saw them, and of course I could not pass them up because, you know, possibilities endless, the whole nine. So as soon as I realized how shiny these were, I was like, OMG, these would make perfect little candy apples. So I am making some faux little canned apples. They're small, you guys. They're not very big. And that shiny just already looks like a candy apple, so I rolled with it. They're little like ornaments, I think. I don't know why you want apple ornaments, but you never know. So I just took the leaves off. I took some wooden dowels. I stained the dowels with antique wax, and then I stuck the dowels into the holes on the top of the apples. Okay, so now I got the base of my candy apple. Now, one of them, I wanted to make a caramel apple with nuts. So I went outside. I collected a bunch of little pebbles from outside. You guys, I literally, one by one, hand-picked the smallest pebbles that I could find off of the ground. I mixed up a concoction of paint that looks like the color of nuts. I added a little bit of water to water the paint down, and then I threw in my little tiny pebbles, and I actually think these look exactly like chopped nuts, just like you would find on caramel apples. So I was super happy with how they came out. So I got them out of the paint, and then for the caramel. So in retrospect, I would make the paint and then I would put it in something bigger that I could actually dip the apple in because it would look like more natural, but it didn't work. I didn't feel like remixing caramel paint, so I just ended up painting it on with a paintbrush, and you know, it turned out fine in the end, but it would have looked better if I actually had dunked it in. So I only wanted to cover half of my apple here, and honestly, I would have done the other ones too, but I didn't have enough pebbles, and I was not about to go back outside, collect more pebbles, make more nuts out of them. I was like, nope. So we just did one caramel apple and the other two candy. So I used some Mod Podge, a nice thick layer of Mod Podge here. I tried to, again, dunk it in the quote unquote nuts, but it didn't really work. So I ended up having to put these on literally one by one. So I one by freaking one put these nuts on the Mod Podge. I filled in all the blank spots with the little tiny ones, and I used pretty much all I had there just for this one apple, but it looks super cute, so it was totes worth it. All right, now we get to like embellish these little bad boys. So I ripped a little bit of homespun fabric. So the first one, I just tied it in just like a knot around the top of the apple, and then I wrote caramel apple in my own ugly handwriting, grunged that up a little bit with some dark wax, and then tied that around, glued it around the top. For the second one, I decided to put 25 cents. And then for this one, I made a little shoestring homespun bow. And then for this one, I went and put it down by the bottom of the apple. So I'm going back and grunging up that first tag because I forgot to. So see, I'm going down by the bottom of the apple, and I'm wrapping it around and putting the bow down there at the bottom. And then the third one, I wrote candy apple, and I did, instead of tying a knot, I did a shoestring bow, but I glued that to like the middle of the dowel on the last apple. So I got all that done, and then last but not least, I decided to just add a little itty bitty sprig of some Sweet Annie, just to give it a little something something there. And then once I did that, I was all done, you guys. This was so fun, so cute, totally like out of my wheelhouse. I don't usually make like faux food like this, but I really love how these came out. And I don't know why. Are candy apples fall? They're not, right? But they just feel very fall to me, I guess because they're apples and, you know, apple picking in the fall. But here they are, all done. Each one is just a little bit different. I think they came out darling. These are pretty small. They're definitely not the size of like regular apples, so these could totally fit on a tiered tray. I think they would look absolutely adorable. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of these adorable little faux apples, and are you gonna go find some apples so you can make some too?